Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Aspiring Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Hamza Chowdhury, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. It's Father's Day, guys. It's June 20th, 2021. As promised, guys, I told you I was going to do a video on a recent sort of loss that I took in CLOV. It's the biggest loss of my career, and I thought I'd share it with you. Hopefully, some of you guys can take away something from this video, and that's honestly why I wanted to put it together, to be transparent, to be honest, and also to help those of you guys who have potentially something that you face that are similar, and it might be something that you can relate to. And so for the first thing, guys, as always, I appreciate your support, so do please smash that like button if you did enjoy this video, and obviously add a comment. I do respond to all comments. So CLOV, guys, is part of the meme stock craze, and I want to go back to this day here on the 7th of June where we saw basically an uptrend in the stock. And so what I have here is my TradingView chart. There's a link below if you want to join TradingView. This is a 15-minute chart, so each candle represents 15 minutes on a stock. And I have obviously my 20-day, 50-day, and 200-day moving averages. You can ignore that for the purpose of this video. And so what happened was the stock was uptrending, and I actually had a day, this day here, where I was actually 4 times my daily goal. And so imagine a day where you've traded well, you have, within the first hour or so, you've done well, you've done, some X your daily goal, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm going to take a break. And so what I did was I missed this complete move. I made some scalps. It was my second biggest winner of the day. And so I went to the gym, and it was then that my whole sort of day changed. And so I wanted to sort of bring that up because I think it's important that we don't allow outside influences affect our trading. And whether it's a relationship, a work problem, a lot of times these types of issues that come up in our day can affect our mental state and could potentially give us, sort of a cloud in terms of how we can think straight and potentially make a poor decision. And in this case, I decided to get back in and shorting Clove. And so just so you guys know, I was shorting these pops, and I was, essentially scalping them 25 cents, 30 cents throughout the day. There was a lot of good flushes. And so towards the end of the day, I actually had a sort of a work issue that came up. It affected me to the point where when I was at the gym, I couldn't focus, and I ended up really just sort of tanking just even at the gym. I wasn't able to really just play basketball. I wasn't really able to do any workout. It was just something that came up, and it took sort of over my mind process and my thought. And so what I ended up doing was coming back towards the end of the day and trading, even though I was 4x my daily goal, and I ended up reshorting Clover. And when that stock went against me, it came back towards the end of the day, and then you can see here in the last sort of half an hour that the stock was still uptrending. And so if you're shorting these sort of pops, clearly at the end of the day the stock traded higher. And so what would a normal good day trader do? Obviously flatten the position. And what I figured was that this thing would potentially be a day 2 type of play, which we talk about, right? Is you clearly have some of these levels that you can look at on the daily as well, and then you can obviously see that this thing will come back in. But you can see as soon as the after hours hit, which is 1 p.m. Pacific time, there was this major pop, okay? And I went heavy. I was actually heavy short into the stock towards the end of the day. And so by the time this sort of first candle hit, I was so heavy that, like, I think essentially within these candles, I was already giving back all my green for the day. And so I went heavy on the short, didn't cover at break, even though clearly it was trending in the other direction, couldn't think straight. And all of a sudden you can see what happened, right? And then so when I woke up, I saw that it was still within the range, figured, we'll pop, gap up and flush. But look what happens, guys. This thing not only gaps up, it goes all the way up to $24. And so it's essentially squeezing a lot of people out of the trade. It comes back here. Now I do cover a part of my position here. Okay, so at this first flush, I do cover probably about 20% of the position here. And then obviously it held well. And so I continue to hold, and you can see all the way up here. Now we're at $28, guys. So can imagine shorting at 1160, holding this position through all of this gap up, and then all the way up to 28 bucks. And then you can see, instead of a day 2 play, this was really a day 3 play. And so we squeezed more people out, but look what happens then, day 3. We go from 28 bucks instantly down all the way to $17 in a matter of a couple hours. Okay, and so this was a major flush. So the shorts were definitely on the right side of the trade on this day. But you can see the amount of volume that we had is why we were able to go from just sort of a uptrending day to a major day where we went all the way up to 24, and it felt very heavy. And so you can see there were a lot of people, a lot of volume coming in, and then you can see it sort of started to dry up. And so yes, this was a perfect day to really understand what levels, if you are interested in shorting Clover, would you essentially short against. And so you can see the levels and the volume as days went on have sort of just died off in the stock. And so again, kind of going back to when this thing faded, faded is where did it sort of hit resistance, and where was it where did it have support, and then where did it fail? And in this case, on this day here, you can see around the $18 range. Okay, and so $18 failed, and then it came back up the next day, and then it faded off of that. And so it was a perfect short. But the reason why I wanted to share this video, guys, is clearly not having a risk plan, not cutting your losses small before they become large. A lot of these things are things that we face every day as traders. And my hope is with this video that you guys can see I did take a 5-figure loss on the stock. And like I said, it is my largest loss to my trading career, which spans over 13 years. And so I wanted to share that because it happened quick, it happened fast. Now what's happening today? Yes, I could have held on and handled a lot of heat, and guess what? I would be pretty much break even on the stock. But that's not my whole point. The point is, imagine taking the amount of heat full size down 17, 18 points when it was up at 28 bucks. That's how you can blow an account. And so one of the things that I want you to take away from this video is that one of these trades, potentially if you're full size and it goes against you and you decide to hold, can take your whole account, guys. I mean, who was to say it would stop at 28? Who was to say it wasn't to stop at 38, 48, 50, right? Like AMC, people who were shorting AMC at $5, $10, $20. When did they cover their losses? And so with Clover, no one was to say that this thing could not have continued, right? It could have easily consolidated, held some type of levels up here in the high teens, and then continued on. But in this case, it just faded off of this level. But there's no reason to say it could have held easily the high teens and continued on and started building up in the 20s. And so again, I did what, you know, trader was, is I took as much heat as I could, and I ended up covering a lot of it back in the low 20s. And so I try to minimize and unwind myself out of this position. But what was the point? What kind of risk is that plan? Is that if you're willing to take a 17-point heat just so you can potentially break even on a trade? It makes no sense. And that's why I realized that day, specifically the event that happened with work, really affected my mental clarity in taking the trade. Okay, guys, so with that said, as always, I appreciate you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Wanted to share this loss, and like I said, you know, I hope it helps you guys. If so, please do hit that like and do add a comment below, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.